I first started playing live electronic music at the turn of the millennium. The internet and digital music had just been born. There was a new, excited kind of futurism about this new technology and the worlds we could build with it, and it set my imagination on fire. I started playing the violin at the age of 5, so my entire understanding of what music was something that you do with your body. You put your bow on the string, move your arm, and sound comes out. I fell in love with electronic music as a teenager, and it transported me to a parallel universe. I went deep down the music production rabbit hole, spending weeks at a time staring at a screen perfecting tracks, but in the end, it just wasn't aligned with the embodied physicality that I wanted. I discovered this software called Reactor, which allows you to build your own instruments, and I've basically been in love with it for the last 25 years. I've built complete electronic live performance systems, I've toured the world with them, and now I've built a new one. So, why am I walking along a country path talking about this? Well, the world is a very different place from when I first started performing live. That turn of the millennium futurist optimism got all tangled up with our individualism. Then our individualism got weaponized by technology companies that have ended up dividing us rather than bringing us together. Inequality is rising sharply, and for the vast majority of us, life is just more precarious and more lonely. Individualism just doesn't make sense anymore. I'm doing things differently because that's what this moment needs. We need to reset our relationship with technology and discover new aesthetics. We need to find new ways to build bridges with each other through creativity in an age when creativity itself can be mimicked by machines and we can be manipulated by those who own them. When I first started performing live, self-expression was king. I grew up with tales of geniuses and virtuosos worshipping my favourite artists. When I decided I wanted to become an artist, I was deciding that I wanted to be worshipped. Such a classic individualist mindset. And I wanted to build a hero's instrument that would allow me to turn my obsession with sonic manipulation and live performance into a tool that would blow people's minds. The premise was a fully improvised, virtuoso live performance, a self-expression machine, a machine that would allow me to shine like a god. But in the last decade, we've discovered that individualism is a weakness, not a strength. A few lucky winners take all, play God, and still don't feel like they have enough, while more people sink into poverty, grasping on to ever-shrinking prospects of becoming gods themselves. We're in the end game of individualism. Our worship of individuals is destroying us. We need to worship something else, anything else, everything else. We need art that glorifies the unfathomably vast and mysterious circumstances that put us on this planet together. Our creativity has become so tied up with our individualism that it's hard to see a way how someone's creativity can serve anything other than themselves. Culture's dying because we've lost belief in the collective value, the collective magic of our interconnected creativity. Culture's become a commodity that is bought and sold for the lowest price, or more recently just outright stolen to build slop generation machines that extract and mechanize the interconnectedness of all the things that we say, paint, dance to and do. Our instinctive repulsion at our slop-filled feeds is a sign that this is not okay. and a symptom of our resignation to digital colonialism. But I still have hope for technology. Well, in fact, I've kind of got an incurable fascination with it. I'm still just as fascinated with building systems for live performance and improvisation as I was 25 years ago. And I think a lot about how to put that to good use in an age that needs less self-glorification, not more. I've become really interested in building systems that give us a unique creative voice, but also give us a way to connect our creative voices together to build a shared culture. I'm really inspired by how the Eurorack modular synth scene has evolved. To me, it's a kind of blueprint for the role that technology can play in building stronger culture and a better world for us all. Each module is its own cultural reference point, which can be connected in infinite ways with other modules. Everyone's system is deeply interconnected with everyone else's systems through the modules that they share. But also each system and each player has a really distinctive sound of their own. Together, the modular synth scene is rich with meaning, diversity, curiosity, and interconnectedness. A couple of years ago, I went through an absolute slam dunk crisis. In the space of a year, me and my partner had twins, I got cancer, I lost my dad to cancer, and then while I was having surgery in hospital for my cancer, my business went bankrupt. In the ashes of all of that, the one thing that pulled me out of darkness was my obsession with building generative music systems. And I'm not talking about generative systems that steal media and melt it down to create slop. I'm talking about systems that use creativity and maths and appreciation of music to craft adventurous new sound worlds. The kind of sound worlds that blew my mind when I was a teenager. So I built this piece of software called Scapeshift. It's a generative music composition system that's built on a lot of the ideas that I've been dreaming about for years. Because I had to pull me and my family out of a financial hole, the project had to start off as a product that I could sell. It was kind of my last shot at getting to continue doing what I love doing. But a big part of my dream was to build a live performance system around this. I wanted to build a world with this thing, a world that, like a river, was alive and evolving and recognizable, but never the same. And I wanted it to be performable, not for the sake of being virtuosic, but for the sake of being demonstrably human in a room full of humans. I wanted this to be an homage to the forces that give life in two parts, the audio and the visual. At the end of the Second World War, we just emerged from our darkest chapter in human history. It's kind of terrifying to see us sliding back there. But there's hope to be had. Out of the ashes of the Second World War came some of the greatest leaps forward for the human race. In the piece that followed the Second World War, the technology that we developed to destroy old worlds was liberated to create new ones. We emerged, blinking, into a new age of techno-futurism. Accelerated by rapid leaps in electronics technology, electronic music had a Cambrian explosion, and it split into two schools. In Germany, Stockhausen and the Electronische Music School focused on synthesizing music from first principles using purely electronically generated signals, such as oscillators, noise generators, envelope generators, filter banks. It was a music of ideas, of forms, almost of the gods. In France, Pierre Schaeffer and the Musique Concrète school focused on capturing real-world sounds with all their complexity and nuance and transforming them through processing and layering into abstract compositions. It was the music of the world, of the messy patina of reality. In my new live show, I want to evoke these two worlds because to me, they feel like the two realms that give life. The purity of ideas, constructs and culture, the things that we're so great at coming together to create. And the unfathomable beauty of the real world, those patterns in nature that reflect mathematical purity but are made by something way bigger than us, way beyond our comprehension. For me, music has always been something from the realm of ideas. My curiosity has pulled me into ever deeper explorations of how music can be constructed from first principles. Scapeshift, the engine that generates the music in my live show, is a direct descendant of Stockhausen's school of electronische music. It generates everything from first principles, the sequences, the patterns, the sounds, in real time using the digital equivalent of the technology Stockhausen used. To me, designing things that generate sound electronically is an attempt to mimic the awe-inspiring processes of nature. It's a kind of world building as worship. Visually, I'm always inspired by nature. No matter how deep I go, trying to build systems to mimic nature, it just never matches up. So the visual component of my show is an homage to nature, a cinematic reply to Pierre Schaeffer's school of musique concrète, cinema concrète, if you like. I just love being out in nature, capturing the rich textures and motion of life and landscapes. And I love taking that footage and then crafting it into an abstract visual narrative. So my show is a fusion of electronische music and cinema concrète. It's like a live soundtrack to a movie made out of abstract patterns and motion found in nature. I want it to be about everything but me, about everything that I'm in awe of that ended up to me being here, sharing this incredible planet with some incredible people. It's kind of become a cliche to say that the world needs something more than ever, but there's a reason for that. I think that we can all agree that, yeah, we do need something more than ever, and we need to figure out what that something is. Creating my live show and this video is part of a process of trying to put my finger on what that something is. I'm not sure if it's got me any closer to an answer, but maybe the process of sharing this fumbling journey is kind of the point. It's about showing up and sharing flawed but human homages to the wonder of life itself and sharing that process. I want this show to take me to new places and to meet new people. I want to perform it in interesting places around the world. I want to create more works of electronische music and cinema concrète to pull together human culture and beautiful landscapes around the world. So, if you want me to bring a little bit of this to wherever you are, just let me know. At times like now, when we need something more than ever, it's really easy to fall into inaction because literally nothing lives up to the ideals that we want to make real. Even making this video feels deeply flawed. I was brought up in an individualist society and I'm using a platform that helps individuals spread individualist messages. But if we wait until we can act perfectly, then nothing will ever change. The best we can do is just keep looking for opportunities to do things differently, looking for little cracks in our constructs where we can escape and push for change. It won't happen overnight and we might have deeper darkness ahead of us, but if we keep on looking for opportunities to do things differently, we can change this. Come on, let's do it.